my wife, and I think the last time I got significantly sick where I had to like stay home from work due to sick, dude, it was like 8 years ago.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
up until I got COVID,
I'm apparently
I never
immune
got
to everything.
Yeah.
12 years working in a school with little kids will make you immune to everything.
Your body's been exposed to every germ known
Dude,
to man.
you can say is go and tie the shoelace of a kindergartner and you grab it and it's wet. You already know. You already know.
That's
all right.
17 years working with kids, and I still get sick every winter. So my immune system doesn't work like yours.
Yeah, no. I have a once in a lifetime immune system. It's pretty incredible.
Okay. So Juneteenth. All of a sudden, there's all of this hash around this holiday that African Americans have been celebrating for a while. I mean, it's interesting how I think over the past few years it's suddenly become more popular. I think people have wanted it to become a federal holiday because, you know, people have always said, well, July 4th is we weren't free on July 4th. So it's, you know, some people still celebrate July 4th and Juneteenth. It's just kind of both. But it's basically, if you haven't heard of Juneteenth, it's 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. The last slaves in the United States were freed in Texas. And so it was on June 19th, 1865. And so this is a holiday for Black folks. So what do you guys think about the fact that it's now a federal holiday? And do you guys see anything political behind this? And I think a lot of people saw right through it right away. I have some memes I can share.
Okay. So just my thing, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with it being declared a federal holiday. I think it's a long time coming. No issue with that. I think the timing is what's sketchy. You know, like why now? Why? Like, and then for my thing is, what else do you have?
So this is a pretty popular meme that's out there.
The food relic is priceless.
Oh my god! Yeah, totally.
God. It is a little awkward talking to some older white men about this right now. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, because I feel like they're just trying to like understand it and not be disrespectful and not be like appropriating stuff. So this is definitely how it feels. I love
which I'm fine with. I'm fine with like kind of like trying to tiptoe around it and trying to figure it out. I mean, this is all new for a lot of people, right? Just the idea of like celebrating this day like on a national level. So I understand people needing to tiptoe around it, especially if you're white. Like imagine like his wife would throw in like this big old Juneteenth party like every year, and it's like, real, like Juneteenth barbecue, like the Juneteenth barbecue out in the suburbs or something. You know what I mean?
As long as they wear the green, the yellow, and the red for the color theme, I'm all for it. That'd be hilarious.
Oh
but no dashikis, no African.
Please wear a dashiki.
No.
Hey, so hold on. So what kind of food are we doing for Juneteenth? What's that going to be like going forward? What are we doing here?
So
they're going to do some watermelon.
That did the rant about Juneteenth. Said you consider it a holiday, another holiday to run.
Like,
so now I have to slave over a grill on Juneteenth, and then the next day for Father's Day, who cooks for their own holiday? Whole rant. He was so mad about Juneteenth.
No used to it.
Santino, you eat American food because American food is Black food.
Hey, that's a perfect answer. That's a perfect answer.
Exactly.
And the truth is here. If we go back and let me go and be a nerd about food and stuff, right? And you want to look at like how foods have spread across this country, like 100%. Think about how like how popular tacos are, how popular like hot dogs are. Well, these are like all foods that originated in another country. Soul food 100% originated in this country. 100%. I mean, it is there along with like whatever Native American cuisine there is. Like that's and you know we need more of that too. Like I mean, everybody knows flatbread and stuff, but you know, I mean, it's beyond that. You know, I'm just saying, you know, so you're absolutely right, LaShawn. It is one of the foods I believe that, like, at this point, we can say it is 100% American. It was developed here, like, you know, and it is what it is. And it's super delicious.
Documentary, High on the Hog. Is that what it is?
Something hog, right? High on the Hog. Yeah.
The hog, about how soul food, you know, soul food, it was developed in the South, obviously. But also how it really started in Africa, and those recipes were brought over from slavery, and a lot of the crops that came over with slaves were like yams and rice and all these things that people eat. Or like, I know one of the things, I'd only watched the first episode, one of the things they were talking about was spaghetti. When we were talking about spaghetti and chicken that we eat, which is a really random combination for some people, but for some reason
that's not true. You know, spaghetti's big in the Philippines as like as a dish too. We have our own version of it. We
that's
put
called pancit.
Hot dogs in. No. I'm not talking about pancit. I'm talking about spaghetti, and they put a hot dog in the spaghetti.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah. No. Right. It's 100% a thing.
That's,
you know,
as disgusting as it is, he's right.
It's delicious, man. Are you kidding? I grew up eating that, man.
You put a hot dog in my spaghetti, we gonna have to fight.
Hey, a lot of people grew up eating a lot of different types of things, but to our point, a lot of it has become American. So what
did Tito say about watermelon? I didn't see that comment there.
He said he feels like eating watermelon.
That could be offensive.
No. Let me say this. If you went to a Juneteenth party with a bunch of white people and they had watermelon and fried chicken inside, you walk in, you just turn right around and walk out at that point.
I don't think I would go and I would bring food. I think I would bring food. So anyway, but
you know, real time.
Dishes, thank you.
Right. I got my own plate. It's okay. I brought a plate.
I don't need to eat none of that.
So real talk. I mean, if I can go around and you know, and the truth is, I didn't do anything for Juneteenth, guys. I didn't do anything for anything.
That's okay.
You know, but I'm just curious. Like, what did you all do to celebrate Juneteenth?
We had a barbecue at my husband's dad's house. That was fun. All the kids had fun.
Yeah,
I worked on every holiday. So
federal holidays. My company is not going to get the holiday off either. So
are you at least getting paid double time for that holiday?
No,
nah.
It's like to them, it's like Columbus Day and stuff. Like I don't get paid double time for Columbus
Indigenous
Day
Peoples
or
Day.
President's
Hey, it's
Day.
Columbus Day. What are you guys talking about?
Okay, Indigenous Peoples Day, President's Day, Flag Day. Like there's a gazillion holidays.
And Shayla, how about you? What did you do for Juneteenth?
I was unpacking. So I don't count.
It's not going to this year as an actual holiday.
I mean, I'm just wondering, like, you know, I'd like to see how this develops. I'd like to see how this develops over the next few years of how people come together to celebrate this. Do people come together to celebrate this, and how that's split apart? Yeah.
So here's the meme that I think was the most popular on.
Oh yeah, totally.
So this was the second part of what I wanted to talk about. Of like, I mean, I definitely didn't feel like, OMG, where did this come from? Because I've definitely been hearing more about Juneteenth, like publicly, you know, for the past few years. But it definitely felt like, hold up, but I would have taken one of these other things on the stairway.
Well, in addition to Juneteenth,
it's going to be our 4th of July going forward. Like our family, it's going to be a whole thing. So it's
always been our 4th of July. Like,
hey, y'all gonna be bumping heads with the Puerto Ricans.
Hey, we can have fun with the Puerto Ricans. We ain't got to bump heads. It's a whole bunch of good food.
I don't know, man. That sounds too rowdy, man. I know my people.
I know your people too. It's like a good time.
Just don't call the police and everything gonna be okay, Tino.
I don't even want to talk about the
police. but real talk, you know, just to get back, like in terms of like being a little serious about this, like, you know, this meme is perfect. Like this meme sums it up perfectly, and it sums up a lot of sentiment that a lot of people had. It's, there are these real issues, and we dealt with it the last year, right? And we dealt with it in like forefront in the media in the last year, and all of a sudden it's like, oh well, here's this holiday, and I stand by it. I really believe these politicians are going to be patting on themselves in the back, thinking they got something done. They affected some real change. Yeah, that's exactly how they're going to feel about it.
Next year, watch, they're gonna be in their Juneteenth shirts and celebrating at the White House and at the Capitol, talking about look what we did for you, and wait till election time. This is what they gonna stand on. We made Juneteenth a holiday.
Yeah, you mean they give themselves a holiday? They gave themselves a holiday.
It's a federal holiday. I don't mean it's for everybody.
Like exactly. You know what I mean? Like, LaShawn, you had to work.
Yeah,
but Nancy Pelosi got the day off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And seriously,
I mean, look at that hilarious image, the one I sent you with the Kamala Harris in their room full of a bunch of white people, like right around this time, and it's like you see the two people who are clearly the help who are black in the background, and it's like.
Yeah, that's gonna look bad at the next Juneteenth. Next year at her Juneteenth event, if that's how she has it set up, it's gonna be a problem.
I mean, that's terrible. Does she not know other black people?
I guess we'll find out.
I'm asking a real question here.
Unless she ruined those relationships, I'd imagine she could fill a table with black folk at the next Juneteenth. I would hope. And
maybe
that's true. She is an AK. So yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Kamala and my mother are really, really good friends. And my mom hates that I can't stand her, and I could care less. I really I've been in the same room with Kamala years and years ago, and I ain't like her then. I don't like her now, and I could care less.
Well, you got to get your mom to get in a room with her for Juneteenth next year, just so that.
Man, my mom is like, she ain't worried about her. She's like, well, she's vice president. Cool.
Yeah. So, and Tito's bringing up a good point here. And, something that I did want to touch in. So I'm talking about Ice Cube's platinum plan. It was actually like Trump's platinum plan. Ice Cube had collaborated with the Trump admin. And then, I don't know if you guys remember Ice Cube infamously, I guess, if we could want to apply infamously to this, he took heat for working with the Trump admin, and he's like, the Trump admin actually tried to talk to us. We haven't heard a single thing from the Biden campaign,
right?
Like, and the Trump admin, or the Trump campaign, I should say, had very specific details of what it wanted to do to promote the black community. It was $500 billion plan.
Yeah, I know that.
And the Biden administration, the Biden campaign's response to that was they were going to look at it after the election.
Right, which was not cool.
And
this was the Trump black voter bid, was like champion federal policy reforms to advance home ownership initiatives, partner with local leaders in black communities, make Juneteenth a national holiday, prosecute the KKK and Antifa as terrorist organizations, fuel black farmers, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, there was like a whole plan Trump had in place.
And I'm going to go say this, that home ownership is a huge one. That home ownership is a huge one. And I'm going to say this, like, you guys been around Inglewood lately? You know who's buying up all the damn property around there? Latinos.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, yes. I knew
I heard about that.
Latinos are buying it up.
I actually looked into it.
And that's what happens because, it's a cultural thing, and we have to change the culture to push towards ownership in your community. Brian said, why didn't Trump do it when he had both the House and the Senate? Trump did some very clear things right in the beginning. I mean, he funded the I can never say this damn acronym right. The black colleges.
HBCU.
I'm dyslexic when it comes to that. I'll never be able to say it. But he funded that a month after being elected. And why? It's not like black people came out in mass to vote for the guy in 2016, or excuse me, 2016. you know, but he still pushed that agenda like immediately. It was one of the first things he did in office. And it, you know, most politicians won't get that done until 2 years after they're in the start of their term.
Yeah.
I say it's true.
But Tito, I was going to say the same thing, man. I was going to say the same thing, Tito.
Whatever.
It's true. It's true. No, it's true. It's true.
It's 100% the truth.
Yeah. I'm just gonna let it.
You know, I'm just saying
about the home ownership, though. I did want to comment on that. You know.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm all ears.
With reparations, when someone, I think it was a city in Illinois, Evanston, a city in Illinois. It's like north of Chicago. They decided as part of their reparations plan for just their town, they're gonna give Black
families. Not a city, it's a township, by the way.
Okay, township.
Just because it's small, I want people to know it's small.
It's
that's that Evanston Chicago rivalry because they sit right on our border.
Evanston,
y'all ain't poop. Y'all ain't poop, Evanston.
No,
I'm sorry.
I want people who aren't from Chicago to realize it's like a smaller place. Yeah. It's not like because she said city. It's not a city. Yeah. It's a little.
It's like a
my fat ass can jog it.
Okay, they decided to give Black homeowner or Black people who are trying to buy homes $25,000 toward their down payment. And I thought for reparations, that's not a bad start. I think every state just kind of has to think about what makes sense for them. But if you're looking at your state and you see Black ownership is 0 or very low, or you know, if that's a way that you can help build wealth, I absolutely agree with you that home ownership is such an important part of how other people have funded their children's colleges, you know, a home equity loan, and how you can say, yeah, I'm worth something because my house is worth this much and I only owe this much. So now you have, you know, some value, some net worth, and we just don't have enough of that.
I don't like calling it reparations, but I do always support programs that promote home ownership across the board.
It's not just, I'm not just talking about home ownership. I'm just saying as reparations, I think reparations needs to be looked at as a whole. I just liked how Evanston looked at their situation and they thought that was the way that they could best help the Black folks in their area. And I feel like that's what people need to do is just do something about it. It doesn't have to be this federal.
Can I go and be a jerk about Evanston and be the devil's advocate a little bit, just a little bit,
for Evanston?
Just a little bit, yeah, just for Evanston with this, right? Yeah, it's great that they do that, and good luck finding a house you can afford in Evanston.
Well, they're giving them money toward a down payment. So
good luck finding a house you can afford in Evanston, even with the down payment assistance.
You can get a
I'm just saying, I'm not wrong. Y'all know I'm not wrong. We'll give this to people, but y'all can't afford to live here anyway.
Hold on, Tion. Jeff, what were you gonna say?
So they're basically just assisting people with the down payment to get a home.
Yes.
So
it's huge, though. I'm gonna be honest, that's huge.
It's a great thing. That's awesome because they still have to work to keep what it's not like they're giving them a house. Right. And they also have to have the credit to get a house. So you know that I don't mind that if that's a program that they have there, I wouldn't mind something like that. Yeah. But if it's hard to afford a house in that area, I live in California, so you couldn't give nobody a down payment here. California give away everything to anybody anyway. But yeah, you can't be like, yeah, we're gonna give you a down payment. You know, the state's broke now. It'd be ridiculous then. Like,
yeah, that's kind of crazy. When I be watching HGTV, I'm not gonna lie, they be like, my budget is like $4 million. They be buying like a 1-bedroom house. I'm like, where are they? Is this in
California?
Down in the Los Angeles area, man.
That's nuts.
Yeah. I'm with Tito. You know, reparations it's a real slippery slope. Right.
It's
a real slippery slope.
Nothing is impossible.
I don't think it's impossible.
Nothing is impossible.
I think it just needs to be figured.
Well, I agree. Who qualifies for the program? Anyone that's Black? Who's considered Black?
Slavery.
How do you prove that?
Ancestry.com.
The same way you prove if you have Native American blood for one of those scholarships.
A DNA test?
Sure. You could do that if you want the program and you want to participate. I think one of those.
I don't know. That's not how that works. I mean, it just will not work the way we think it's going to work.
Well,
I don't have a solution. I can't sit here and tell you that I have a solution. I just don't think it's gonna work out as well as everyone thinks it's gonna work.
I think the best thing Black
I'm
folks
gonna
do
go. Oh, it's fine. I'm gonna go and come back and claim my Puerto Rican roots and be like 100%. I have African somewhere in my DNA. 100%.
It's not African,
100%.
it's
Oh, no, hold on.
Slave.
Time out. What do you think? What do you think happened to blacks in Puerto Rico during the time of Spanish conquering?
No.
I'm just saying.
I didn't say Puerto Ricans didn't have slavery. I just said it's not necessarily African. It's slave. So I'm just saying. From Africa recently, it's not the same thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying though. But imagine someone like me.
Okay.
Trying to claim
if you
that
have slave roots, Stantino, then what's the issue?
Yeah, you're Puerto Rican. You probably have slave roots.
I might.
So what's the problem?
I'm not saying I might. But like, how do you prove that? You can't prove that.
Your percent times what? Well, your blood
just
percentage.
Because I came from a geographic location on Earth means that I might. There's a high likelihood I was
yes.
Maybe
the law.
His skin tone might not be dark enough.
But then how many people are we talking about? 300 million people in America. How many people are we talking about here that can make that claim?
I understand what you guys are saying.
250?
You have to figure it out. But I honestly think the best thing Black folk can do in our communities is invest in our communities. So to your point, Latinos are investing in Inglewood because the property rates are so low right now.
But then what happens? It pushes everybody out, and then they get displaced.
Yep.
And then
happening in Brownsville right now. It's so frustrating because it's illegal to, obviously sell your house to someone that if you just because they're like Black or whatever, but it's like impossible to maintain our, communities without people being like, oh, you fixed it up. Now I'm going to come in and drive the prices up.
Yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like there has to be a conversation. There has to be a conversation in the Black community to address this issue. And like I said, the thing is it can't come from someone that looks like me. It can't come from someone that's definitely can't come from a white person. You know what I mean?
It can't come from me. Both my parents are Black.
And for the Native American one, you have to be a certain percentage in order to have a claim.
Yeah, but I even think that the tribe has to be able to track your lineage as well. It can't just be like
not even just that. It has to be a certain percentage. Like you have to have a certain.
They got people who are like 0.005% Native American. They claim Native American benefits. I'm sorry.
Jeff, what were you saying?
So my older brother, when I met my father in February, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, your grandfather is 100% Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
But so, my younger brother and I, we both went to Ancestry, and it says we have like very little Cherokee in us, very little Native American in us, right? So my brother's probably mistaken, but if you can track the lineage, it doesn't matter the percentage. If you can track the lineage, you qualify for it. The percentage doesn't matter at all. That I did find out. So my brother's trying to track the lineage right now. I was like, man, we too old for this now.
Yeah.
He's like, our children, man, our children.
Yeah, because that was a thing with like people like Lou Diamond Phillips and like other actors who claimed to be like Native American, and I think he was trying to claim to be Cherokee at one point, and the Cherokee Nation was like, well, we have no record of his family.
I don't know. I don't agree with Tito's comment there that you cannot figure out who are descendants of slavery, because we were just talking about this earlier, how someone had posted online, because people keep saying slavery was so long ago. It's like this thing that it's been forever. And Harriet Tubman died in 1913 and Ronald Reagan was born in 1911. Like, this is not something where slaves, it's been so long that we can't figure out who was slaves and who wasn't. And I think a lot of Black people will probably in this thing discover that maybe they weren't the descendants of slaves, because maybe their people have been North the whole time and it wasn't something that, you know what I mean, they even had in their lineage. But I think a lot of Black folks would very easily be able to say, yup, that plantation. Like, I don't think records were kept in that in a whole lot of detail after slaves were free. That might be part of the problem, but there was a lot of records kept on slaves on plantations. So
people can't even figure out who their damn dad is now.
Okay, so that's a whole different thing. I found
mine, bro.
And that's a whole other topic.
I'm just saying, like, I just think it's unrealistic.
Whoa. And it's not necessary that they okay.
We can on my mother's side of the family, we actually can track back to slavery and what plantation we were on, and how we got our light skin, because we were actually sold to an Irish family. That's where my mom's last name Crable comes from. So we can actually track it back and understand why we have some dark folks, some really, really fair skinned folks in our family.
Yeah.
And me and Shantae were just talking to our dad earlier, and we were like, maybe we're not descendants of slaves. It seems like if people are from the North, we just don't know how far back they were from the North.
I mean,
like,
the thing is, well, exactly. You know, it was like, yeah, your family you might be able to trace your family back to the North, but how long were you there?
Right.
How long was your family there?
Right.
Like, I mean, you know, they were importing slaves into this country from what the 1500s?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's a long,
they could have been
time.
South at some point. We just don't know.
You know, and I guess that's the hard part is like you'd have to be able to figure out a foolproof way to like prove this. And I mean, and like it's just like,
reparations aside, like I said, I really think Black folk just need to invest in their communities.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking when I said it, but I was like, well, maybe Kwame Brown could help to bring it back full circle to the last 2 weeks.
But
because he's trying to push and at least spread the word about some Black folk who are already doing stuff in the community and like just spreading the wealth. So do more of that on our platforms versus just, you know, twerking and shit. Or talking about gossip and who's sleeping with who and all this other shit.
So, you know, and you know, just to circle back to the topic though, do we think they're gonna do more?
Democrats, I don't know.
I say
so badly.
When's midterms? We're in 2022. 2022.
Or 2023.
No. 2022 is gonna be this about Juneteenth.
Yep.
And then 2024 is gonna be like, oh, we want to do this, we want to do that in 2024. That's what it's gonna be.
After the
and then in 2024 they're not going to do anything. Like it's going to be nothing. That's what I think is going to happen, you know. And
if that happens, we have ourselves to blame. We have to get smarter about voting.
And the truth is I really, really stand by it. I really believe that if Trump had won, we would have seen. I really believe we would have seen at least half of that $500 billion. At least half.
We'll never know. And he'll be too old to run in 2020.
We'll know in 2024.
He'll be too old. He'll be another Biden. We don't need another.
Brian, no, I don't believe
Brian.
I don't believe the Republicans will. I don't believe the Republicans will, Brian. It's going to be Trump.
What'd you say, Chad?
No, I said if old Joe could get voted in as president, Trump could get back in there.
You're right.
Yeah, all eyes on Maricopa County, guys. Let me tell you.
Oh man, out in Phoenix.
Wait, who?
Let me tell you.
What'd you say?
Out there.
They're doing that big old audit in Maricopa County. Like, trust me on that. That might be a potential to be a big pain in the ass going forward.
Wow. I love good old Arizona.
There's reports of a lot of ballot inconsistencies. They did like a complete forensic audit of that entire county, and like I've heard things of like 52 ballots coming from one address, things like that.
That's crazy.
Yep. So and the fact that a bunch of states have gone and sent representatives down to that audit just to see their process to act as a model in case they do it in other states.
Here's the problem. The problem is there's enough people, I think, that already feel like all of that was just a hoax for Trump to like keep his power. But I think people are squinting at it. And I think if they can prove, like they would really have to prove like with some video or some shit that something happened. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't even know what it would take for me to be like, oh yeah, that's them. I don't know what it would take because I think it's already been tainted. I think that they did this all on purpose, of course. And if it actually happened, it's all covered already.
I just feel like voter fraud has been going on forever.
Forever.
So,
but that doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't mean that it shouldn't be addressed.
I was gonna say, so they're fixing it now, fine, but people shouldn't feel like it was just one, like, you know, like it's been going on forever. It's not anything new.
Oh no, it just did it happen on the scale that that it potentially could have happened.
But are we gonna know because we didn't do these massive audits for every election? Like if you do some mass audits on a Chicago elections, I'm sure you're gonna find a lot of fishy shit. So, excuse me.
No, the question is whether or not it's enough to overturn an election.
Right.
That's the big question. Well, no, I'm just saying, just in general, like with all of these things, whether or not it's enough to overturn an election. But if there's enough evidence in even one state to decertify that one state, that's going to throw the entire electoral process into question, especially when you're coming to an electoral college. Because if one state gets its election decertified, that's going to already shift your electoral votes. Biden might not have enough votes.
They're not gonna just switch presidents. Like,
we'll be facing a constitutional crisis, and they could be a catalyst in the Civil War.
We'll see. I think we just gotta let this thing happen before we jump to civil wars.
I was gonna
just being honest.
Well, this is just my opinion.
Well, so far they don't have enough proof for anything because they've lost all their lawsuits, as someone mentioned.
No, their lawsuits never got addressed. It didn't lose. It's just the judges didn't look
have
at
enough evidence for them to even
get a bunch of hack judges. Sure.
Okay. But it was several lawsuits. It wasn't like one or two.
It wasn't one Democratic judge, against the whole. No.
Agreed.
Yeah, you can't sit here and give me that the Republicans wanted Trump to win either. So,
oh Lord,
the entire country was
okay. Now I don't even know what to say anymore. So can we move on to the next topic?
All right. Now all of that to say,
right.
June.
Now everybody's evil.
So what? Now my opinions don't matter? I thought this is ChitChatChill. I thought we can't cancel each other, guys. My opinion matters on this platform.
We're not canceling each other, but we also have to be able to move on. We respect.
I was about to read like 3 comments, but I didn't want to interrupt the flow. I was like,
no, put the comments back up.
Sorry, guys.
Matito was having a good time with his comments.
Yeah, the media helping and mass implications are what's the problem. Under 50,000 votes between 2 states is all it took to change the outcome of the last election. And then Brian says, Republican appointed judges.
Yeah, I mean, miss me with that. The Republicans don't like Trump. I mean, they don't.
So
we call them rhinos.
Keep talking.
So he doesn't like Republicans and he doesn't like Democrats, and he sounds like he wants a monarchy or something.
Oh, me? I want the MAGA party.
Dictatorship.
I want the MAGA party. Give me the MAGA party all day.
Oy.
Anyway, moving on.
Anyway.
I'm like sitting here thinking, is that party going to be even further away from everyone than Republicans? Or is it a little closer to like moderate?
I don't know.
Whatever.
The problem that I have with them is people look at them as a hate group now. There's people out here that look at the MAGA party as a hate group now.
I don't, only because I know media is stupid.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how they portray them.
I mean, I guess I'm in a hate group.
No, I said people look at them as.
I totally get it, dude.
But that's messed up. Like, you should be able to wear your MAGA hat. This is America. Rock your MAGA hat.
Oh, I can wear my MAGA hat. I just don't think a white person in Chicago could wear a MAGA hat. I could wear a MAGA hat. Ain't nobody gonna bother me about it.
But in
all fairness, I think that has something to do with like how, like Tito was saying, with the media coverage and stuff. That's why I got amped up to be like a hate group. It was the coverage and the way, you mean
like the way the media is acting like Juneteenth is the greatest thing ever that happened to Black people?
God. Yeah, man.
This piggybacks on a couple conversations we had.
Can I say something?
And sorry. Like all the coverage, but they're backed by corporations. It's all planning behind it. It's all it's funded. It's intentional. And that's the frustrating part about the media. It is supposed to be unbiased. It is supposed to be covered level playing field. It is supposed to be covered just facts on both sides level, not guided, not steered in any way. But it's done like that all the time, and it's because it's these corporate funding. Like at the end of the day, they edit what you say, they edit what they cover, they edit who you cover, content, everything. It's all
That's
secret.
not America. It's not America. I
want to hear both sides. Or die down. Like they don't cover certain things and they amp up certain things.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel better.
How can you blame people when that's all that they know? Like they don't know.
If
That's
it
all
makes you
they
feel
see.
better, if it's on the television, the kids aren't watching it anyway.
And just to go back to
What's
what
that?
you're talking about, Shayla, with the corporate stuff, we have to be careful with this Juneteenth stuff that these corporations like Hallmark and stuff don't turn this into a goddamn Hallmark holiday. How long until their mahogany line is dropping like Juneteenth greeting cards everywhere? My problem with that, Shantae, is that money could be better served like going to like black-owned businesses. I saw a lot of memes talking about that where it's like, be careful buying like Walmart like Juneteenth or Target Juneteenth shirts because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of black-owned businesses that are going to be creating products for this that have a real opportunity here. But hey, they still gonna have to compete with Walmart on $2 for $5 T-shirts that say Juneteenth on it.
And y'all, come on, get your stuff together. Set that reminder right now for next year for 2 weeks out because the ship is going to take longer because you got to order from the small business. But do it.
Order right now. It's on sale.
Right.
Don't fall for that 2-day Prime. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, because you're going to get Chinese-made stuff. They don't even like black people in China. It's true.
Yeah. So when Juneteenth got made a federal holiday, people immediately went to Amazon trying to order T-shirts and flags and everything, and then they all instantly got mad because they weren't coming until the 23rd. And I was like, "What do you think was gonna happen? What you think?"
We just like as a community, people, you have to be mindful of that stuff. You know what I mean? Because there's a real opportunity here for black-owned businesses to really proliferate under this, and like they're gonna get Amazoned, like you said, they're gonna get Amazoned.
Yep. We got to do that. We got to do better at that.
My favorite T-shirt that I saw was it said Happy Juneteenth, free-ish since 1860.
That's what I got.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? We were born free
every day.
People.
That's
we were
the name
born
of the
free.
I got it from.
We were born free. Everybody, it's a God-given right. We're born free.
Okay, but shackles on your feet might say something else.
I don't know, man. Them student loans got me down.
Hey, ask your boy Biden about that. What happened? What happened, guys?
Hey. Whoa, wait, we kind of forgot about that. We talked about that like months ago.
What happened to those student loans?
What happened to our student loan?
Gone. That shit is gone.
You got Juneteenth.
Distracted. That should have been one of those stairs in that picture.
No, guys. I got a real good one. So
hold on. We're all talking over each other. Sorry.
Can I say something real quick? You want to talk about home ownership? How about student loans is a damn mortgage in itself? You can't afford to get a house and pay student loans.
True.
That's what I'm saying. That's hanging over people's head. That's like your new shackle.
We've been distracted with Juneteenth.
Exactly.
So carry on.
Sorry, go ahead, Tina.
I lost my train of thought. We were talking about I saw this article. It was funny because I think the Biden administration had canceled a bunch of loans from like ITT or something. One of them like fraudulent type of things, But they canceled a bunch of loans. I swear to God, I saw a headline that was like Biden administration cancels like $5 billion in student loans. That was the headline. Not that it was because. It was because they canceled a bunch of fraudulent loans by a college that was operating fraudulently. This headline was propping it up like this homie went and canceled like billions of dollars in student loans. Like that's that crazy media crap that we're talking about.
Oh my God!
It's all about the spin, my friend.
It's clickbait. They get the people to click to see if they could be eligible, and they get the
ridiculous. It's ridiculous, which I think should lead us into what we're going to be talking about next year. Because with this In the Heights thing, how much of it is media? How much of it is people actually being upset?
Oh,
good question.
That's interesting. Agreed.
Because I'm actually really curious about this because go ahead.
Let's properly introduce the topic. So, In the Heights, colorism, something that's been hot in the media lately. I actually have a clip I could play real quick, and it's a little bit of a trailer with a little bit of an interview. If I could get this to work. Can y'all see my screen?
No.
It's coming back now. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. Full screen this and do this.
Is a story about the Latino community in New York City's Washington Heights neighborhood. Critics say dark-skinned Afro-Latinos were featured as background dancers, but not enough in main roles. The movie opened last weekend with more than $11 million in box office sales, falling short of the 15 to 20 million that was expected. And with me now to discuss colorism in the Latino community is Amara La Negra. She's a singer and star of VH1's Love and Hip Hop Miami. Amara, welcome to BNC. It's good to have you with us tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And it's unfortunate that I'm on the show talking about this specifically, but it's all good. It's a learning and teaching experience.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. What did you think about his apology first?
I think that, I don't want to be judgmental. Anybody can make a mistake, but I do understand that in order to do a movie, it requires a whole team of people to come together to make it happen. And it's unfortunate that no one in his team, no one in the team overall came and, pointed out the fact that you're talking about the Latino community. What about the Afro-Latino community, which we've been so vocal in the past 2 years or so. So, it was one more lost opportunity to truly show diversity in the Latino community.
Yeah, Namara, let's focus.
Okay, I'm just going to stop it there because that's kind of what we were talking about and cut back to
I love her last name.
I don't think that's her real last name.
Yeah, and they explain what her name means. It means Black women are beautiful.
Yeah. So that's kind of an intro to this topic. Lin-Manuel, like obviously this was a broadcast or a Broadway play that was turned into a movie, and he said that we just adapted it. It wasn't a whole lot of thought given to that, but he said he was listening. That's what he said. That he never came out and said no, you guys are wrong or anything like that. But he said he's listening, and I guess probably going to learn for the next one. But what do you guys think about this topic?
I mean, I love the movie. I love the movie. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that those comments and those arguments are invalid. I'm not gonna sit here and say that they're not invalid. There's valid. There's a conversation to be had, but to be angry enough to not want to watch this movie, to be angry at Lin-Manuel, and like accuse him of being a colorist, because that's what I've heard is people accusing this man of being a colorist. If that guy is racist, what the fuck am I?
Oh, it's colorist, not racist.
Racist and colorist.
Colorist.
You guys get what I'm. You guys get what I'm saying, though. Like if nothing that this man has done has shown that he's
okay. So the main cast of this movie is very light. That's like a fact. And
yeah,
so
but there are Afro-Latinos in the cast. In the main cast.
But like she said, they're background dancers, and there's definitely brown people off shades throughout the entire movie.
But there's Afro-Latinos who are in the main cast too.
There are, but they're
just okay. They're not as dark.
They're of a lighter tone. So I think all people are trying to say is, well, I love the movie as well. I thought it was delightful. However, I don't disagree that the main characters are lighter. And I think that when people are thinking about what they think people will watch or what they think they want main leads to look like in movies, they have to look at people of a darker skin tone as people who, in that talent pool. I don't know what happened, obviously, in making this movie. We weren't there. But if people were excluded because they wanted a certain, type of look.
Yeah, but that would have, you would have to be able to prove that was what happened.
No.
You know what I mean? Now, that being said, and just to be devil's advocate, it is WB and also FWB. But that's right, restore the Snyderverse. But
we're not talking about Zack Snyder tonight.
I'm just saying, WB has established itself as a villain in our current movie studio lineup. But anyway,
this movie was really good. I think that they did a good job. I just think that they have to think about casting in the future because what people are saying is true.
So let me go and give my spiel, right? No, hear me out about this. I said I hear it too, and I understand where people are coming from. But, and I've said it, 10 years ago, this movie does not get made with the cast it has.
That's true.
20 years ago, they casted Madonna as Eva Perón.
Right. Right.
That wasn't that long ago. That was 1998.
Yep.
Right.
10 years ago, this movie does not get made in the way it's made. There is not a single like white person in this movie that I can even think about that was like a prominent character. Everybody was racially like appropriate. There was no brown face. There was, you know what I mean? Like 10 years ago, this movie doesn't get made the way it's made.
So you think that
the fact that this movie exists the way it exists shows where we've come from, and where we're going. And what I think is if you watch the movie and you look at the themes of that movie's talking about, this movie is literally saying it sucks sometimes, but every generation works harder at creating a better situation for the previous generation. Mm-hmm. Literally the main theme of this movie. And we're having this argument about this. The movie literally addressed this. And sure, I'm not saying that the arguments are invalid. Just, like 10 years ago, we're just gangbangers. And nobody complained about that. Nobody complained about it when it's black or brown people. Yep. Right? No, that shit's gangster.
Yeah.
That movie's so gangster.
Yeah.
Let's all go. Let's bring our 5-year-old kids to watch this gangster movie in the theater.
Yeah.
Yep. That's not a lie. That's a fact.
That's facts.
10 years ago, 10 years ago, that's who we were. This movie didn't address any of that stupid ass gang violence in this movie. It was all about celebrating Latino culture and cultural immersion. And this is the movie that you choose to die on with this social justice warrior bull?
Okay, so to kind of, I'm sorry, keep going.
No. Go ahead, Shayla. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's my thing. Representation does matter. And although there is growth, we still have a long way to go. And there is a big divide with color in the Latin community. It's a big divide with color in a lot of communities. And you have to acknowledge the undertone to it. And the fact that you did have this big production and you did have this opportunity. And Lin-Manuel, to me, okay, so stick with me on the comparison. But to me, that's like what Shonda Rhimes is to like black women writers. Like, this is the pioneer. This is the one who broke boundaries. This is the one who went mainstream and created the to go over and tell the story and the different nuances with the culture. Like, if anybody was going to nail it, this is their chance to nail it. And to be excluded from it as a representation, to see yourself as a main cast, to see yourself a part of the narrative in the community. It says something. So I'm not saying it was intentional, but I do understand what the frustration is. And part of the uproar, and I think this is a lot of like I think part of the misinterpretation, not even misinterpretation, but I think people have to strike the iron while it's hot, and they feel the need to take their problem and drive it home because of relevance and how soon people forget. So they have to get more mad than they probably would be, because this is the only time they can bring up.
Yeah, but so let me say this though. But instead, what you do is you taint something that's good. And now let me say this: you go create too much controversy. When it comes time to make another one of these studios are going to be like, "I'm good, pass." They won't buy it. Matter of fact, throw him in a wife beater, put a hairnet on his head, and throw on some Dickies on the dude. Nobody complained about that.
And honestly, I do feel like, to counter that, and again, I feel like the conversation needs to be had. Like, I don't feel like he needs to be attacked. I don't feel like he needs to be canceled. I love what he does. But I feel like when people have a disagreement, I think it needs to have that family vibe to it. Like, you're correcting someone who's of your own. Even though you have those differences, like in a family. Like, your family, you all don't look the same. Everybody has differences. Yeah. The point it's a way you argue. It's a way you go ahead, LaShawn.
but pointing something out is one thing. But attacking and talking about boycotting, that's when you're taking it too far. Like, you can point it out and critique your own community all you want to. There's blogs and ways to do that. But then when you get to the point where people are like now not going to watch it and protest it, and it's like a big step for the community, it just seems
and
Everybody-
Shayla, and that's
but
what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
like,
Hold on, guys. Hold
Moreno-
on. LaShawn and then Tino.
I
and
just
then
said it's
Shayla.
self-destructive when we do that, when we do things like that.
It is.
Shayla, go ahead. Sorry.
And I think some of it is reactive. It's not actually trying to get the message across. Because I know, like, Rita Moreno went on a talk show and she was like, people just need to wait. But you have to understand, when you're dealing with certain people who have been ignored or who don't feel represented, to just tell them wait without, talking to them in context. And then even coming from her, it might not be taken the same way. People become defensive, they become reactive, and then you one up and you have chaos. So I just really feel like it's a lot of hurt, and it's not a conversation being had that needs to be had.
Shayla, that's why I preface what I'm saying is I understand. I really understand where people are coming from. I get it.
But don't attack
But sometimes
him.
you got to go and take the victory lap. Take the
victory.
win.
Or don't
Take the
attack
win.
him. Like, let me.
And LaShawn, exactly, yeah.
For example, Black. I feel like there's like a lot of famous Black like bloggers and like commentators of like life or whatever, Black community leaders, whatever you want to call them, that critique things and put them on like, what am I thinking of? Media that mostly Black people use. So that way Black people are talking amongst each other and critiquing things. You could do it in that way without making it so mainstream that it becomes, everybody coming all
keeping it in house.
Yeah, like you can't even go and like look anything up about this movie without this subject being, first and foremost. And it's just, I don't know. It's so ridiculous, I thought it was a great movie. I think every Latino, every Hispanic needs to watch this. They need to watch this movie. It's like mandatory viewing, and how many people are going to not do it now because of this? You know what I mean? Like because of like people wanting to make a sensation out of everything. There's no way that Lin-Manuel is a colorist. No way. No way. You know what? Anybody that said he is because y'all couldn't get tickets to Hamilton. Y'all just salty.
What is wrong with you, Jeff?
So what it comes down to is our communities have to support each other first. And there's going to be a lot of things that we don't like. But there's a way to voice that to where we don't involve the mainstream, the world in it, to where we're fighting amongst ourselves and then other people jump on the bandwagon. Now it's causing an issue to where, he could not sell the next movie. It could be a problem. Well, we're not going to buy your film because we don't want this look, but you're trying to push this look. So, sometimes we have to support each other first. Voice, I'm pretty sure he has a Instagram page that you could go on and direct message him and voice your opinion there. But when you get into the media, and now it's become such a big deal, and now that we're going on the media complaining about the movie and that we're not in the front, we only got a few dancers in the back, that only reflects bad on the community that we're in. And this movie was made to shine a light, not to make it look bad. And look where we're at now because we just can't get along. Someone's always going to feel left out, and there's a way to do things that doesn't involve the outside world, and maybe we could get it better the next time. So we gotta stop. We gotta support each other.
There's no Hispanic dudes in that movie that look like me. Where's my Hispanic half Asian guys in that movie?
Where's my fat dude at?
I feel so unrepresented.
I'm not even Hispanic.
You know what I thought of when you were just saying that, like family, when you talk about your family, and you have this crazy aunt or uncle, and you talk about him, and you and your family talk about it. But as soon as somebody else says, "Oh, you're crazy," well, excuse me, stranger.
It's
This is
a
my
way
family.
to fight in front of company.
Yeah, you don't call my uncle.
Shayla. There's a way to fight in front of company. That's
you wait till you get inside.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Go ahead, Shayla. What were you gonna say, Shayla?
But another thing I wanted to say, like, I really don't feel like he should have been canceled. Like, and here's the comparison I have to make. Like, Tim Burton has been making a non-diverse cast for years, and I think they attempted once to cancel this man, and he just went. Like, I feel like when you're a writer, it's especially when you come up with ideas. Sometimes you only see from where you come from. So I get why he doesn't necessarily like. Clearly, I don't expect a diverse cast of his friends. So maybe that's where it comes, like not an intentional keeping someone out, but you can only tell your story from where you're coming from. Like you can only, like as a writer, and then if your think tank doesn't bring it into the mix, like you can't expect people, like I feel like it should just be a conversation instead of an attack type of thing. Especially if I don't think it was intentional for him. I really don't.
Do any of you remember what Eddie Murphy went through when he made the first Coming to America and only had 3 white people in the movie?
No,
Eddie Murphy went through hell.
Put those people
Eddie Murphy went through hell.
They made them put them in there. They didn't have them in there at first. The studio made them put them in there.
Exactly. So, and then the backlash he got for playing a Jewish man in the barbershop, which was probably one of the funniest characters in the whole movie. But this is just we haven't been representing a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. There's not been a lot of diversity in what they have come up with, but they expect us to say, okay, thank you, boss, for giving us this opportunity. You guys can play the main characters while we take a back seat. And that's why I said what I said, because if we support each other out front, we can continue to do what we're doing by making films about our cultures, whether it be Latino, whether it be African American. But we have to support each other first, because if they see us fighting, all they're going to do is jump on us fighting. You see, we can't give them nothing. Yep. They're going to fight amongst themselves anyway. Yep.
Like I said, give them a gun, put a hairnet on them, and make them a gangbanger. They never complained about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, real talk. You guys think is Lin-Manuel a colorist? Y'all think that?
No.
I don't think
like Tito said he can't.
I do understand why people. I do understand why they mentioned it. I just don't. I wish it didn't go the way that it did.
Like Rita Moreno said, they're attacking the wrong person here. They really are. I honestly think that this guy is becoming a victim of a Trumpless media. They just need something. They need something. They need something to sensationalize.
But you have to kind of understand, even that message coming from her can only be taken a certain way too.
Yep.
I mean, again, you're talking to, and it's big in the community, Hispanic communities, Caribbean communities, light skin versus dark skin. There is a difference in the way that they're treated. It is a difference, and respect is a difference.
Yeah, but that's an internal problem that doesn't need to go and have a bunch of white run media stations running wild with it
and telling us how we feel about everything.
Yeah. I mean, I get that too, but I'm just saying it's is rooted in a lot of pain and history. That's all I'm saying. It didn't come from just out of there.
Yeah. Right.
And like I said, I think we're all on the same page. We believe, all of us, all 5 of us believe that the argument is valid. Just take the victory lap. Take the win. Sometimes you gotta take the win.
Yeah, we're a little closer to where we want to be. Yeah. But
literally what the movie was trying to message. Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Please go watch it. So basically, support the film.
I'm gonna go watch it now.
It's good. A minority film, creative film. It's great, or it's wonderful. If you were familiar with the Broadway play, you've already seen it. Great. If not, you can kind of see old clips on YouTube. Me and Dave were kind of looking at them before, where we're just like, this is the pre Hamilton Lin-Manuel. So that was kind of cool to watch. But.
I mean, come on, audience. Does this guy look like he likes musicals?
Yes.
Y'all know better. Y'all know better. Keep your quiet. Keep comments to yourself.
He likes musicals, and then he sings along while we watch
A
the
walking
Colorism in the
musical.
Heights.
I sure
You just
do.
posted a video of singing one of the songs. So
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
I have no shame, guys. What can I
No,
do?
yeah, don't let them shame you for liking musicals.
we are
Musicals
not
are great.
Oh, we
Oh,
don't
no.
shame them. You just haven't had a
Oh
live.
no.
the
Yeah,
privilege of a live audience.
If you're ever around Chicago, we having a karaoke day. It's gonna be hilarious.
Seriously,
They-
though, I feel like a lot of men don't give musicals a chance, and if they actually did, they'd be like, "These are actually pretty good," because musicals are really dramatic and they're really good.
I think they don't
Hey,
want
hey,
nobody
let's say
to see them cry.
thank you, Mom, for taking me to those musicals when I was a kid, because
I mean,
it's
for
been
real.
life defining for me.
They don't want nobody to see them cry.
Oh, I'm gonna say that movie In the Heights had me effed up in that theater. I'll be honest, that hit a little too close to home for me.
And I think, yeah, that's the good thing about it is, man, I hope people don't lose out on the opportunity to connect to a story that they can relate to, you know, maybe for the first time as far as like cinema, just
You at
because
least
of,
try to see. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
that's
like,
all I'm saying.
at least look at it to see what you trying to be mad at. Like,
But people
know
aren't
if you're
seeing
mad
it.
or not.
People aren't watching it because they're just like Santino said, you Google it and this is what you see, and they're like, oh, I'm not supporting that. That's not
I'm not going to watch it. Right.
It's down.
That's sad.
The first thing the lady said was they thought they were going to do 11.5 and they only did 11 million. I'm not, still a lot of
I
money.
ain't gonna lie, it happens. I still ain't saying shit crap.
That's musicals anyway. Musicals tend not to do well opening weekend if they're particularly good. They get long legs. I want to say
our biggest issue is that we don't support each other.
Yeah,
we gotta support.
That's true. That's true. We're terrible.
We gotta support.
That's why we're buying. That's why we're buying Juneteenth shirts from Amazon.
Yeah,
guys,
Yeah.
my device is about to die, so if I disappear.
And even when we do need to correct each other or address each other, it should be done in love and light.
love, right?
Yes.
So that's my only thing. Like, say what you have to say to me, but bring it to me in a certain way. Otherwise, I'll be like,
and Lin-Manuel, for his credit, he took the criticism with grace.
Yep.
And
Yes,
he
he did.
and he addressed it appropriately.
Right. He didn't just
That's
shake
good.
it off.
You can't
somewhere.
you can't be mad at that man.
Yeah, I read somewhere someone was like, well, he's not really addressing it. He just said he's listening.
Did.
Okay, well, that is addressing it by saying, oh, okay, I see. Yeah, no.
I guess people want him to go and pull the movie,
like,
and then reshoot it, and then get Zack Snyder to come in to digitally put in a dark Afro Latino in, like he did with Tig Notaro. That's what people want. They're like, oh wait, they can afford to do it now. Might as well.
Right. Let him get a next movie to redeem himself.
Tito, Tito, he should have never apologized. I agree, but he's not me.
Yeah.
So,
and I think an apology.
Very nice
I
of
agree
him
with
to do
Shayla.
that.
Yeah, and I agree with Shayla. I think an apology was fine. It's a big topic in our communities, and we've talked about it on here before. And it's a big topic worldwide. I was saying in Asia, it's a huge issue of people. The lightning thing.
Hence my comments earlier about China.
Their Miss America was black, wasn't she? And it was like a big to do in Asia.
So
it's still relevant today.
But to you guys' points, show the movie some love. It's still a movie. You'll enjoy the movie, and it's probably not the hill to die on.
What you mad
So
at?
the big takeaways from this conversation: buy your Juneteenth stuff from Black-owned businesses and watch In the Heights.
Yes. Support us and invest in your community, even if that don't make that sound scary, even if that means shopping at the Black-owned businesses in your neighborhood, and that's it. It can be that simple. It doesn't have to be anything crazy like start your own business or anything like that. Just buy from them. Don't purposely go to the white.
Instead of going to McDonald's, go get that burger off that corner store that just opened up. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. People sleep on that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sandwich shops, coffee shops, all types of stuff. And y'all going to Starbucks, just support your local stuff, like Black owned. And there's a lot of and not just Black owned. Latino owned, minority owned. Support your community, basically. Support
Yeah,
your
man.
community.
I'm gonna say this. I feel like
have
it's a bigger issue in the Black community than the Latino community. Like everybody's
True.
Yeah,
Right.
I really believe that.
Jeff.
Yeah. We have a older gentleman out here, old retired military, that wanted to open up. His dream was to have his own fried chicken place. So he opened up his own fried chicken place. So, you know, I'd heard about it. And I finally went over to visit him. And I get there and he has 4 fryers. 3 of them are all broken. So, yeah, but he's working his butt off to keep his business going. So I see him doing that. I had my own restaurant. I ended up closing it right before the pandemic. I got 4 fryers sitting in storage, not being used. So I went and got a U-Haul, picked up the fryers and took them over to him. And he was like, "Can I give you anything for it?" I was like, "Just succeed. That's all I want to do is to succeed."
Boom.
So
and that's it.
That's all.
It.
It's a little support. It wasn't being you. You know, I could have said, you know what, I'll sell them to you for $900. All of them for $900. But then he'd have been $900 less in his till for something that I'm paying to keep in storage.
Yeah.
So I asked him, "You need anything else? You let me know."
Yep.
You know, so that's the kind of support we have to do, especially with trying to help each other out. If you see somebody in your community trying to do something productive, legal, and just take care of their family, you do everything you can to support that.
Yeah,
it's true.
And stop supporting these liquor stores so damn much too.
Oh, man.
Because ain't no reason why. That's
we could talk for another hour about that.
Yeah, that's
every corner in certain neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate all of your time. And thank you for joining us this evening. It's always a good conversation. Check out our website. We record this here live, but we also post it as a podcast in case you don't have time to watch it on YouTube. You could just listen to it. And then also, obviously, we have our merch on our website as well. That's shown at the bottom. So yeah, support a small Black-owned business. If you can, when you can. No pressure. Happy belated Juneteenth, and go watch In the Heights. Good night, everyone.
Happy belated Father's Day.
Oh, and happy belated Father's Day to all the dads out there.
See, that's what that man was talking about the barbecue. He was saying it.
2 days in a row.
I love that. Y'all know me. I'd barbecue 3 days, 4 days in a row.
We know.
Me both.
With your musical in the background, we got you, boo.
You know, you guys are always invited. You guys are the first ones on my invite list. Y'all know that.
Good night. Have a